Namaste, Ram Ram. Happy Saturday to all of you. Saturn. Saturn actually is the ruler of our sixth chakra, mind. Those of you who are familiar with micro chakras and their psychology, you know how these planets facilitate the light of the chakras to reach us. Today we are going to talk about this light. How this light physically becomes manifest from our subtle body where we have these shining chakras giving us the light, facilitated by these planets that are around the sun. Just as Earth receives light from the sun, so do other planets. May it be Moon, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn. Most important thing to know is that there are some microcrystals in our pine-shaped pineal gland. It's like a phallic-like symbol, ancient symbol of the phallic-like called Shivalinga is a representation of that pineal gland. Because this is the only gland where the light spectrum between, it's like blue and green, that is the range of that light spectrum. Green because of the heart chakra, devotion, love, and blue, the color of the fifth chakra, the whole spectrum of the blue, starting with sky blue to ultraviolet. So all of these lights, they are then affecting our pineal gland and forming the physical crystals. But just as crystals can be shiny, transparent, vibrant, or they can become dull. They become dull when we misuse, we put the stress, it's called mechanical stress. When you put mechanical stress on the pineal gland, then the crystals become dull, creating all kinds of problems. Scientists say that Alzheimer causes the crystals. No. Alzheimer's results from the way we treat our pineal gland. They also say not only Alzheimer's, but migraines. Or sometimes in the breast tissue, the crystals develop. But that is calcification, like in the joints. It's calcification. Pineal gland crystals can also calcify. So they lose their shineness. It's like a diamond that has become a hazy looking stone. Not clear, not transparent. So then they blame the age. You see, problem is that we don't want to put fingers on that spot which hurts the economy in any way or a lifestyle in any way. We know that the pineal is a light-sensitive gland. We know that when it gets dark, the pineal gland will produce melatonin. So what happens if you are awake till midnight? You are forcing your pineal gland not to produce melatonin. But we don't want to put our fingers on that. And that is the thing to blame. Because our circadian rhythm is maintained by the melatonin produced by the light-sensitive pineal gland. So then we take the symptoms to become associated with the problem, whereas the symptoms are being created by the way we treat the pineal gland. How come people who live without electricity, like in countries like, in states like Georgia, people live well over 100 years. They hardly have any electricity. Because they don't fool around with their pineal gland. They respond to it. When it gets dark, the natural thing is to go to sleep. And 2 hours before the sunrise or 90 minutes before the sunrise, when the little bit of a light of the sun is visible, sun is not risen yet, but the light is visible, they're awake at that time. Healthiest time to be active. Rather than waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning. And obviously when you go to sleep at 11 or 12, you're not going to wake up before 7 or 8. And 9 o'clock you have to be at work, so what do? You brush your teeth, have your breakfast in the car. Or in the subway, whatever mode of transportation you take to go to work. It's causing mechanical stress on the pineal gland. And we are talking about how to distinguish between the qualities of light to awaken the third eye. Well, how can you awaken the third eye when the instrument of the third eye is being mistreated? I'm planning to teach a course on Tratak. 3 different types of Tratak to distinguish between the qualities of light. But we have to put our fingers on where the blame should be placed. So anyhow, this is what it is about. In fact, there is a shape, it's called hexagonal lattice system. These crystals, they're kind of a hexagonal in their shape. And there's a specific size of them. It's incredible. Where is the hexagon yantra in our body, mandala? Hexagram, which means the downward pointing triangle and an upward pointing triangle interrelating, where the male and the female are uniting. That's called hexagonal shape. And these crystals are hexagonal shape. Subtle influences the physical, the matter. And the causal influences the subtle. Therefore, 3 bodies. Causal body, thinking body, subtle body, feeling body, and then the physical tissue that responds to the nerval response. You have an itch, you scratch, it's gone. That's the physical. It's not a feeling, it's a sensation. Feelings are like love, the ego. Those are feelings. You cut open a heart, you don't see any love. You cut open the brain, you don't see any ego, but it's there. This is a subtle body. Anyhow, let's see if there is any question at this point.
Just about this subject, could you give an example how different qualities of light can be related to our, I don't know,
Everyday experience. Okay, very good.
Personality or anything that can be related?
Absolutely. You can see, for example, the light from a candle, a paraffin candle, the commercially available. Put a paraffin candle, light it. Next to it, put a beeswax candle, light it. See if there is a difference you see in the two, in the quality of light. Then the next one, use cotton and some oil, any oil, coconut oil, almond oil, any oil, and then use ghee. See the difference between the quality of the flame of all these four. And then we will talk about some more subtle lights later. But these are that you can experiment yourself. Just as the sound has quality, the light has quality.
A question from Liliana Pavlovic from Switzerland. Does our pineal gland have anything to do with our third eye to see or more to feel intuitively the world around us?
Yes, it does. The intuition is much more spontaneous and accurate when your third eye is open. Therefore, it is so important not to put any mechanical stress on the pineal gland. Allow it to produce gently the melatonin which will lull you to sleep. Just go to sleep at 9 o'clock at night or whenever it gets dark. And wake up when it is still semi-dark. That way you are nurturing your pineal gland instead of putting a mechanical stress on it. And it will have a payback, which will be your intuition will improve, your quality of meditation will get deeper and deeper, your rate of breathing will become very, 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 very slow, resulting in long life, if you like to have long life. So all these three things, and most importantly, intuition should be used when do you need to eat tamas food, how much you need to eat rajas food, and how much you need to eat sattvic food. That intuition will determine, because that is the root of your physical health. Then, based on that intuition, the other chakra minds will also be influenced by that intuition. So your suspicion that the third eye in the physical body, like the brain, is the pineal gland.
There are comments from Kelly Crandall Ithaca. She is grateful to you for the wisdom you are sharing. Anthony Iliana writes, thanking for your devotion to sharing during this time of a great transition. And Pablo question, is the third eye part of the subtle body or the causal body? Pablo from Quintero from Colombia.
Colombia, okay. Excellent question. In fact, pineal gland and the third eye and the intuition, all three of them are in a combination. For example, the thoughts are produced with the left brain thinking. Feelings are experienced through the right hemisphere of the brain. Bodily sensations are felt through hypothalamus and animal brain, limbic system. So, the physical part of the pineal gland is physical. It's visible, it has crystals in it, it reacts to a circadian rhythm. Its function is to be able to use the intuition to see what is edible and what is not edible. Like the animals can smell something, and then, for example, the grass is growing and poison ivy is growing. They are eating the grass but not the poison ivy. So we also have that ability to smell and see if it is edible or not. But because we don't use that so very often, we these days read the food more than we smell the food. Because we have become quite sophisticated, we're not animals, so we don't smell. In the meantime, we are losing our sense of smell. The most vital part of the smell is to really enrich your taste by improving your sense of smell and understanding it. I'm not talking about the ability to smell. No, that's different. That has to do with your smelling power. I'm talking about whether it is edible or not. Can you smell if this is a GMO? Can you smell if it is organic? No, you can't. No, you have to read about it. So at the physical level, the pineal gland is physical. At the subtle level, it has the three different gunas to recognize purity, recognize high energy foods, pure foods, high energy foods, and heavy foods, tamas foods, like fats. Very important to have a balance of the three. And then, of course, the causal body, which is your intuition. So the thoughts are related with the causal body. Most superior thought is the intuition, which is actually beyond the thought.
The question from Rafael Silver from Colombia. Can the vibration of sound made with our throat stimulate the pineal gland?
Very intelligent question, and the answer is definitely. You learn to do pranava. First, do the omkar, practices of Nadi Yoga, akar, okar, makar, and then learn to do the pranava. And you watch what happens to your pineal gland. It's just like you're polishing your pineal gland, like a shoe. When you put the polish on the shoe, it doesn't make any difference. But when you brush it and brush it and brush it, the shine comes out. That's what pranav does to the pineal gland and the crystals in it. We can revive it, actually. We can revive the decaying pineal gland, the calcified pineal gland. I have had personal experiences with a handful of students.
Another question from Davide Lavina from Luxembourg. Should we avoid also naps during the day to avoid the shock of sunlight upon waking?
Should we avoid what?
Should we avoid also naps?
Naps.
during the day to avoid the shock of sunlight upon waking?
Uh, in the first half of your life, you should not have to have the need to take a nap in the daytime. In second half of your life, you may use it as a siesta. Now, some people who force themselves to wake up early in the morning for their meditations and their brain is not rested, therefore they have a need to take a nap during the day. In which case I recommend that in the afternoon you can take a 20-minute, half an hour, whatever you need. And so when you wake up, it is better not to wake up, open your eyes into the bright. So when you take a nap, just close the windows, put the shutters down, or even have a eye patch so that you can get a deeper nap. And then gradually you take this thing off, and gradually you will open the windows or the shutters, and don't shock your two eyes because they are connected with the third eye. That's why in meditation practices they ask you to just look up. Don't force yourself to roll your eyes. That can be not good for the eye muscles. And eye muscle exercises are very, very important to do, which is what we will be teaching in the Tarataka course, which I think is very, very important for people who really want to learn and go deeper into the meditation.
Femke from Netherlands. My dreams are very symbolic and always give me very helpful information. What is the relationship between dreams and the pineal gland? And can I train to remember the helpful dreams?
Yes, to all your comments, the answer is yes. Now is the matter of how, which is the most difficult to sum it up in such a short time. But the answer to all of your questions is yes. One thing I might add, the dreams that occur in the first few hours of sleep, disregard them. Most of the times we forget them anyway. Dreams that occur later part of the night, rather early morning, those are the relevant dreams. They are worthy of interpretation, and best time is to, when you wake up, to keep a little log near your bedside table so you can write down your dreams, because in time you're going to forget them. You obviously are either a Jungian analyst or a dream therapist of this kind. It will be very good for you to distinguish between the relevant and the irrelevant dreams. Because early night dreams, they are irrelevant because sometimes the food is not even gone down and people go to sleep. So therefore those dreams, they are hardly dreams. They are kind of in a hypnagogic state. You are just, your mind is floating around, and they're not really, technically they're not really dreams.
Another question from Anthony Eliana. What becomes possible for us when our pineal glands are fully activated? Why is pineal health so important for us?
Because the pineal gland is the one that is light sensitive. There's no other gland that is light sensitive, and therefore the longer it can do its job, the happier your old age will be. I mean, why not make the best use of everything that you possess? And pineal gland be the most precious of any body part you have, most precious. Therefore, look after it, guard it, by going to sleep early and waking up early. And then if you can learn some breathing exercises to energize and connect the heart chakra mind with the fifth chakra mind, Vishuddha chakra mind, because both of those are the kinds of light that the pineal gland radiates, exudes. The beauty is that this green and blue light has no heat. It's called cold light.
Okay.
Stay well. Ram Ram.